solid state chapter. From this chapter you will get maximum of 2 questions in the NEET exam. So this short video we are going to revise the important points related to this chapter. So as you know, there are 2 types of solids, amorphous solids and crystalline solids. In amorphous solids we can find short range of order in terms of constituent particles. Because of that they show anisotropic. They are also called as pseudosolids because the constituent particles are not showing long range order. They are also called as supercooled liquids. Amorphous solids are also called as supercooled liquids. And crystalline solids are called as true solids because you can find there is a ordered arrangement of constituent particles and they are anisotropic in nature. Now crystalline solids further classified into 4 types based on the nature of constituent particles. If the constituent particles are ions, they are called as ionic solids, and between the ions you can find Coulombic force or electrostatic force of attraction. These are the examples for ionic solids. If the constituent particles are atom, then the type of crystalline solids are covalent solids, and the bond between the atoms is covalent. These are the example. Here some of the best examples I am going to underline. In ionic NaCl, in covalent diamond. In metallic solids, the constituent particles are metal ion surrounded by a sea of electrons, negatively charged electrons. And the bonding in this is metallic bond. These are the examples. And if the constituent particles are molecules, they are called as molecular solids. And based on the type of van der Waals force, there are 3 types of molecular solids. Dispersion, if the bond is dispersion, example is argon. If the bonding is dipole-dipole interaction, example HCl. If the bonding is hydrogen bond, they are called as hydrogen bonded molecular solids, example ice. The best example here is ice for hydrogen bonded molecular solids. And crystalline solid, you know, it is going to form a crystal lattice, and each crystal lattice you can find a structural unit called unit cell. When the unit cell is going to rearrange, the entire lattice is going to generate. We must remember in the unit cell there are total 6 parameters. In that A, B and C are the edges, and alpha, beta and gamma are the angles between these edges. That is important, you have to remember. Now totally there are 7 crystal systems are there, 7 crystal systems, and that are going to form 14 Bravais lattices. 14 Bravais lattices. It is not important to remember the 14 Bravais lattices, but the 7 crystal systems we need to remember. They are cubic, rhombohedral, tetragonal, orthorhombic, monoclinic, hexagonal and triclinic. In that the most important one is cubic, where all the edge length and all the angles between the edges are same. Angle is 90 degree and edges are same. All the 3 edge lengths are same. Best example diamond and NaCl. Diamond and NaCl shows cubic crystal system, whereas graphite shows hexagonal. This is about the edge length and axial angles. Potassium dichromate shows triclinic crystal system, very important, where it is most unsymmetric crystal system. Triclinic is considered as most unsymmetric crystal system because all the edge length are not equal and all the bond angles are not equal, which is very important to the exam. You remember one cubic and triclinic, both are opposite. From this table definitely one questions you are going to get. It's a very important table where we can find 3 types of crystal system: simple cubic, face centered and body center cubic unit cell. And the packing efficiency in simple cubic is 52.4%. Radius is A by 2. Remember A by 2. Coordination number is 6. And by using this relation D is equal to 2R, the nearest neighbor's distance D can be calculated as A. Lattice points are 8. In simple cubic, you know, the lattice points total are 8 on the 8 corners. and the number of atoms, if you calculate 8 into 1 by 8, you will get 1. For face centered, the packing efficiency is 74%. Radius can be calculated by the formula a by 2 root 2. Coordination number 12, very important, and by using this relation, if you calculate the d, it will come a by root 2. Lattice point total 14 along with corner and 6 faces, and the number of atoms, 4. In BCC, percentage is 68%. R can be calculated with the formula root 3 a by 4. Coordination number is 8. Remember this coordination numbers for these crystals. And D is root 3 a by 2. Lattice points are 9 including body center, and the number of atoms are 2. Now the very important is radius ratio formula, R plus divided by R minus, radius of cation divided by radius of anion, and here this point you remember, larger the radius ratio, greater will be the coordination number. If the radius ratio is larger, greater the coordination number. So this chart you need to remember, especially the what I have underlined here. If you find radius ratios less than 0.155, then the coordination number will be 2. Shape is linear, example is BEF2. If the radius ratio is between these, then the coordination number is 3. Shape is planar triangular. And if the radius ratio is between 0.225 to 0.45414, coordination number will be 4. Shape is tetrahedral. Best example is ZNS. And very important, in the exam they have asked, in the previous exam, if the radius ratio is 0.414 to 0.732, coordination number will be 6. Shape will be octahedron. Best example is NaCl. And if the radius ratio is between 0.732 to 0.999, the coordination number will be 8. Shape will be BCC, and the example, best example is cesium chloride. This is the best example. Now remember that children, if you increase the pressure on the solid, coordination number is going to increase, and if you increase the temperature, coordination number is going to decrease. So coordination number and pressures are directly proportional. Temperature and coordination number are inversely proportional. Now come to void. There are two types of voids, octahedral and tetrahedral. The size of the octahedral voids are 0.414 R, and the number of voids in this type is n. Second type of void is tetrahedral, and the shape and the size of this tetrahedral void is 0.225 R, and the number of voids will be 2. If the number of particle is n, tetrahedral voids will be 2n. If the number of particle is n, octahedral void will be n. So we have one formula based on the previous year question based on radius ratio. What is the probable coordination number if cation of the X plus ion in XY, if the radii of X plus and Y minus are 147 picometer and 210 picometer respectively. So radius of cation is 147 and radius of anion is 216. If we divide, we will get 0.680. This is the radius ratio, and this radius ratio comes between this range. So coordination number of X plus ion will be 6. In this way we have to solve the questions. Now when it comes to type of defects, the first type of defect is stoichiometric defect. It is also called as intrinsic or thermodynamic defect. So stoichiometric defect, we can find it is not going to disturb the stoichiometry of the solid. Because of this stoichiometric defect, the stoichiometry of the solid is not going to disturb. There are two types of stoichiometric defect, Frankel and Schottky defect. Remember here some points very important to the exam. So in the Frankel defect, you can find there will be a missing of ion, especially cation, from the lattice site and occupies the interstitial site. Cation is from its side and comes and occupy the interstitial site. That's why density remains same. There will be no effect on density. It is found in the crystals that shows low coordination number. Example AGI, ZNS and AGBR. Whereas in Schottky defect, you can find the equal number of cations and anions are missing from the lattice site. Because of that, the density is going to decrease. Here you can find this type of Schottky defect in the compounds having same size of cation and anions. For example, NaCl, cesium chloride, and remember AGBr is a solid that shows both the type of defects, Schottky as well as Frankel. The second type of defect is non-stoichiometric defect. It is going to arise due to the presence of constituent particle in non-stoichiometric ratio. Because if the defect gives rise to disturb in the stoichiometry of the solid. It is called as non-stoichiometric defect. In that, the first one is metal excess defect. The first type is metal excess defect. It is due to the anionic vacancy leaving a hole which is occupied by electron. Anion creates one vacancy in the form of hole that is going to occupied by one unpaired electron to maintain the electrical balance, and that anionic site occupied by that unpaired electron is considered as F center, and the F centers basically impart the color. For example, in sodium chloride golden, potassium chloride violet, lithium chloride pink. Important, you have to remember. The second type of non-stoichiometric defect is metal deficiency defect that arise when metal shows variable valency. Who shows variable valency? Transition metals like iron, titanium, vanadium. So such type of transition metals usually shows metal deficiency defect. So remember, in metal excess defect there is one more type called metal excess defect, that is due to the presence of extra cation, for an example ZNO. So that is called as metal excess defect. So some other important points here. Covering tetrahedral, while covering tetrahedral wires, we can find AB type of pattern structure that gives hexagonal close packing. AB type pattern gives HCP structure, example magnesium and zinc. While covering octahedral wires, we will get ABC type of structure, for example CCP, cubic close packing, and FCC, example copper and silver. And when it comes to semiconductors, there are two types, N-type semiconductor and P-type semiconductor. We must remember, N-type semiconductor electrons are the carriers and P-type semiconductor holes are the carriers. And remember, N-type semiconductors can be generated by doping silicon or germanium with group 15 elements like phosphorus or arsenic. When we add phosphorus or arsenic to these elements, group 15 elements, when we add to this silicon or germanium, we will get N-type semiconductor. Because of extra electron, you can find the conductivity. Whereas in P-type semiconductor, we are going to add group 13 elements like gallium, aluminum, or boron to the silicon or germanium to get P-type semiconductor.